Hi YouTube and welcome everyone also from T-Chat. Now we are jumping into the French guide. I already uploaded an English guide to my YouTube channel. Now you will face the mighty French guide. So the French civilization. Their Dark Age is not really as good as the English, since the English can make the meta terms really good on water maps, and the French is really bad on hybrid and full water. Let's say full water maps, not that really bad, but on hybrid maps they literally just lose if you pick French on hybrid maps. So they're Dark Age weak, and because of that, their game style is not really around the hybrid maps. In H2, let's say both of their landmark is good, but honestly, the Chamber of the Commerce I don't find it as good as the School of Cavalry, since the School of Cavalry scales to the late game as well. Why I'm saying that? Because School of Cavalry also enables you to make cavalry units on every stable 20% faster. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Commerce, you have to make economical upgrades to get all those traders. Not really a bad landmark, but I would rather pick the School of Cavalry anytime. I mean, for memeing, having a little bit of fun, playing differently, you can Chamber of the Commerce. Back in the day, this landmark was way stronger because it was giving 30% of every resources that your traders were trading. Right now, it just gives you one free trader for each tech. I don't think that's good. I think the 30% increase on your trading, on your traders was way better. So we're gonna go up School of Cavalry. Don't forget now, because the School of Cavalry, you will able to make every cavalry unit from every stable much faster. So let's check if we can see the difference. 21 second, yeah, so this is like 1 second difference between the scout from TC and the School of Cavalry. It's 29 seconds and 19 seconds. So on the Horseman and the Royal Knight, you can see a higher difference. So what's up with the French H2? To be honest, French H2, H3 and H4 is really strong, and you will see why. So in H2 we have the French Knights, which already a really strong unit. With the French Knights, you can spam archers with them. Archers are focusing down the spearmen of your opponent's spearmen, and the Knights gonna clean up everything in the end. And also, the Knights can one-shot villagers. You just have to charge in, and also you have to have a blacksmith upgrade. But if the opponent made a textiles on their villager, it's gonna be much harder. It's not gonna be one-shot anymore if your opponent has textiles on his villagers. Sorry, by the way, I'm really sick. So meanwhile making this YouTube video, I need to let you know, guys, I'm really sick as hell. So with that, also the traders I mentioned before, that if someone goes with the Chamber of Commerce, you can do one tricky thing. You can put all your villagers on gold and not on food, and you can trade with these traders putting on food. Why is it so good? The reason behind that, because it delays your farm transition a lot. Like, imagine that you have a 20 trader giving you 100 food per trip to left to right, giving you always 100 food. Recently, I tried this in Team Game and FFA Nomad as well, and my economy, my food per minute with, like, let's say 60 or 50 trader, it was like 4,000-5,000 food per minute I got from the traders. And also, the French has the ability to get gold while their traders are active. 1 gold every 6 seconds. So you get 1 gold every 6 seconds if you do the merchant guilds. So their H2 and weaponry is literally based around their knights raiding your opponents. And also don't forget that their economical upgrades are cheaper as well. So that really helps the French in H2 a lot. Cheaper upgrades. Also, every time when you age up, your villager production faster. So you have a Song Dynasty, the Chinese Song Dynasty, a weak one, but it's every age it gets closer to the Song Dynasty. In Imperial, I think you have the same building time as the Song Dynasty. So you have faster villager production by every age. Every time it's faster, more faster. You have cheaper economical upgrades. You have traders that can trade for food, gold or wood. based on your options, and you have the French knights. So that's all the strength that you can have in Age 2 with the French civilization. Going to the Age 3, you have really two OP good landmarks. You have the Royal Institute. The Royal Institute you want to pick if you have like 20 or 30, 20, let's say 20 French knight that's alive. So if you have 20 French knight that's alive, you go with the Royal Institute. If you want more like economic and long term, so the guild hall is like a long term, it goes to Imperial as well, then you want to pick the guild hall. Both landmarks are really strong and both are supporting French very, very well. So let's go up with the Royal Institute. Let's say we have a lot of French knights. So we have a lot of French knights. The feudal was longer. We aged up. And now we have a lot of upgrades unlocked in the Royal Institute. First of all, we get the Canto saddles. We have this in the H3 stables as well. So as you can see, I can make the Canto saddles here. But in the Royal Institute, it's much cheaper, so you want to do the Canto saddles here, which increases your knight damage after a successful charge. So if you do a successful charge with your French knight, after that you got 10 more damage, which is your knight damage from 26 goes up to 36 for 5 seconds. So you can do 2 attacks before the bonus damage goes off. We have other really good upgrades, just like the Royal Bloodlines, which gives you 35% health for your cavalry, and that's why everything goes into the picture, into the puzzle, like why the French is still good in H3 compared to the English, which is the English is not as good in H3 compared to the French. So you can get the Royal Bloodline, your knights goes up to 310 health. Also in H3 you have the ability to build around keeps, and those keeps are decreasing the resource that you have to spend on your units. A normal keep without the keep upgrade, you have an arbaletier for 64 food, 32 gold, an archer for 24 food, 40 wood, and a Hankeneer for 96. Horseman for 80 food, 16 wood, 112 food, 18 gold, and 56 food. But because we went to the Royal Institute, we can give another 5% cost reduction on your units, which means your horseman now 75 food. That's really cheap for a horseman. 15 wood, 105 food, and 75 gold. Again, compared to the 140 food and 100 gold, it goes down to 75 gold and 105 food, 52 on the scout, 22 food, 37 wood on the archer, 60 food, 30 gold on the arbaletier, and 90 on the Hankeneer. This is the same cost as a Rus strategy. So with that, it's not over. You unlock a unique crossbowman unit, the arbaletier. So let me show you why the arbaletier is so strong. Let's say your opponent has the feudal spearman. Okay, we have unique upgrades. You can research in the archer range the gamma-zones. The gamma-zones increase the arbaletier armor, melee armor by 5. Okay, we research that, and also we give 5 melee armor. So now your arbaletier has 8 melee armor. A feudal spearman deals 10 damage. Castle spearman deals 11 damage. So just compared the 8 melee armor to 11 damage. How much is that? Correct. That's 3 fucking damage. So the spearman deals literally only 3 damage. Meanwhile, the arbaletier will deal 12 damage because you're gonna have ranged armor on the spearman, 2 ranged armor, right? So 2 damage. Can you just think about it? Like spearman 3 damage, arbaletier 12, 3, 12, 3, 12. So that's why the you really need horseman into the composition. But even if you have horseman, let's check the horseman damage against a ranged unit. So against a ranged unit, it's gonna be only 16 damage, and they receive how much? Yes, they receive 7 damage. So you can attack a horseman with the arbaletier doing 7 damage to them. It's just kind of crazy how strong the arbaletier in H3. And if you have the Royal Institute, look at this. So an arbalist has a 2.5 attack speed, with the crossbow stirrups, the attack speed goes down to 1.75. Almost as fast as an archer. But wait, it's still not enough, right? The arbalest, has an ability, the Pevis, which gives you 1 more tile of range and 5 ranged armor for 30 seconds, and that's it. 5 ranged armor, 1 tiles of range for 30 seconds. If you activate it, you have it 5 tiles of range and as I said, 5 tiles of 1 tiles of range and 5 ranged armor, which helps you against javelin throwers, and also helps you against archers and TC keyfire. Because right now my arbalest has 7 ranged armor. Isn't that crazy? What is the damage of an archer? I'm pretty sure it's 9. So an archer has a 9 damage with 5 tiles of range, and arbalest has 7 ranged armor when it has the Pevis. 7 ranged armor with 6 tiles of range, which means the arbalest gonna outranges the archer and has the same range as the javelin thrower. So again, the French unlocks so much in H3 compared to the English, and that's why we are saying the English is really weak in H2, because they really don't unlock that much of stuff that's really good, useful against your opponent. But meanwhile the French, that has cheaper units, an insanely strong crossbowman, and let's see what other things. I think that's all the stuff they that's all the stuff they unlock. Other than that, they are all the same. They are all basic spearman, basic marathon, etc. But they unlock an insanely strong crossbowman. They can unlock a really strong royal knights with the Royal Institute, or the guild horde that literally generates resource per minute for you. Sorry, I forgot to mention, if you go with the trade landmark, the Chamber of Commerce, or if you have a lot of traders, H3, you can get the Imperial upgrade, the Merchant Guilds, which give you 1 gold per every 6 seconds. So you unlock that upgrade in H3, you can unlock that upgrade with the Royal Institute. So literally every Imperial upgrade which you need can be upgraded in H3 with the Royal Institute, and that's why the landmark is so good. So we are going into H4. We have insanely 2 strong landmark again, the Colleague of Artillery, which gives you the chance to make Couverins or just more damage on the Royal Artillery, on the cannon, on the Ribaldokin, and also, by the way, more damage on the Couverin. So your Couverins will have 30% more damage, or Ribaldokin or cannons gonna have 30% more damage, or the artillery ability for the cannons, which is literally like a great bombard. So the AOE splash is literally like a great bombard, so that's a new ability for the cannons. And also trains and research technology is 50% faster. The Red Palace, I don't even need to tell you, you will build the Red Palace. The Red Palace, a landmark that has a lot of arbalest. First of all, they have 2 arbalest, but every time when you put a unit inside, the amount of arbalest it has will be increased by 1. So look at that, I'm putting the units inside, and more and more arbalest. Now I have plus 15 arbalest, and look at this. I'm just gonna click one of these deers. Drrr, drrr, drrr. That's how fast it shoots. Look at that. So the arbalest deals 62 damage, and also you can research another one, which will increase it to 63. So the arbalest literally deals 63 damage, and this is the only landmark. I'm pretty sure the only landmark that can damage the ram, but let me check. Not much. Only 3 damage per shot. You can see the ram will receive only 3 damage per shot. But honest work. At least the Red Palace will kill every unit. Meanwhile, you are clearing up the rams your opponent is sending to your base. So that's not enough. Now that you have the Red Palace, you have an arbalest on every keep, every TC. Which means if I build a TC or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, all these TCs will have 1 arbalest, which 1.5 attack speed, so faster than an archer. These TCs shoot faster than an archer with 63 damage, which means if you have TCs, let's say TC here, farm around it, TC here, farmer, and these TCs will literally protect your food economy thanks to the red plus, thanks to the arbalest that you are unlocked. And that's why we are saying French H4 is strong. There is no weakness in H2, H3 and H4 because you always unlock something really good, important for your civilization that can help you through even the most worst situations that you can get in. Also, in H4, they unlock the Ribolopin and their unique bombard, the cannon, which is way stronger than a bombard. So they have the Ribolopin, they have the cannon, so their siege also really good. And let me show you how good the arbalest in H4. So you have the arbalest in H4. Let me give them every upgrade. So the arbalest in H4 has 10 melee armor. 10 melee armor. A horseman in H4 deals 19 damage only to an arbalest. Then an arbalest has 22 damage in H4 and the horseman has 7 ranged armor. Wait a minute, that's a lot of damage the arbalest can do to a horseman. That's literally crazy. 10 melee armor. So when you get to H4, you want to rather spend this unit because you will do a lot of damage to men-at-arms, knights, hand cannons, archers, everything except the horseman because the horseman has a really good ranged armor. But the arbalest is one of your key units. You can mix some hand cannoneer into the arbalest. So the thing that you can do is run into the battle, do the pevies, and behind them you're gonna set the hand cannoneer for extra DPS, since the hand cannoneers have 42 damage in Imperial with the chemistry upgrade, of course. 35 plus 7 with the chemistry, so you can use the arbalest even for tanking. They are better tank than a man-at-arm, so you can use them for tanking against melee units. Like Gulam has no chance against the arbalest. Like Gulam literally just dies by laughing. Meanwhile, Gulam should be good against crossbowmen. And also the unique upgrades that I show you. If you don't go with the Royal Institute, the Imperial upgrades that you can find in all those buildings, like the keep reduction, the unique crossbow upgrade, the Royal Blindland, etc. So that's why the French civilization. Also, let me show you the villager production time. So right now it's 16 seconds, so 1 second slower than the Song Dynasty that China can unlock in H2. So as I said, French has a lot of unique stuff. Their really weakest age is the Dark Age, and they are really bad on water maps, hybrid maps, full water maps. French really bad compared to other civilizations. So as I said, because of their Dark Age is weak, that makes them weak on hybrid and water maps. But their feudal is strong, their H3 is really strong, and their H4 is really strong. That's why they are really good on land maps. Like what I said with the English is really good in Dark Age, really good in feudal, really bad in castle, and really good in imperial. It's the same thing with the French, but the French is only weak in Dark Age. Their H3, H4 is really strong, and they can use it. This cheap hand cannoneer, the cheap tank arbalest, crazy. Let me tell you, crazy. And we talk about the French, where the civilization is weak, where the civilization is strong. Don't forget, even in Imperial, their economical upgrades are cheaper. Look at that. So Imperial economical upgrades 175 and 350. So their Imperial upgrades are cheaper as well, economical upgrades. It's worth to get them with the French, you really need them. And that was all the ages, talking about the ages and the strength of the French civilization. With me, with Corvinson. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you next time. I hope I'm not gonna be sick like this. Bye bye.